Nobody likes being injured. When it comes to professional wrestling, it's usually the simple moves where all of a sudden something just goes. I mean, recently in AEW, Juice Robinson's leg just broke, even though he was basically just walking around. Hopefully by the time you see this, he's all better and good to go. There have been other crazy injuries in the world of sports entertainment though, so I am Simon Miller, and sit down and trigger your Cesaros switch, whatever that means, because we're going to take pain and strangeness and link them all together. Number 10, Shinsuke Nakamura gets bitten by a dog. So this was a house show back in 2018 when Shinsuke Nakamura was ready to compete, when the California police, I suppose, were sweeping the arena make sure nothing bad was going to go down. Given that Shinsuke was already there though, when the police dog saw him, he ran up to Nakamura, and I suppose he must have been a big fan of New Japan, and he bit him. This wasn't just a little bit of a bite, it was a huge one. Poor Nakamura had to go to the hospital. It was so crazy, not only was he pulled from the live show, not only was he pulled from SmackDown soon afterwards, where he was meant to be taking on Jeff Hardy for the US title, but he wasn't able to go, or at least perform, on WWE's Japan tour either. That one seems massively unfair. So it took a good old while for this chunk to recover, which just goes to show, friends, always be careful, because you never know. Number 9, Alistair Black hurts his testicles. On the 4th of August 2018, at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, it was meant to be Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa versus Alistair Black, when Alistair Black got attacked in that damn NXT Performance Center parking lot, and he was out. And the reason for this is because Alistair had actually pulled his groin after he had gone, penis first, into the ring post. But then something else terrible happened. I mean, absolutely terrible, because his testicle essentially shattered into 7 pieces. Now, Alistair Black himself talked about this on X-Pac or Sean Waltman's podcast, and it was so out of control, he had to have surgery on all of this. It took 3 months to recover. Honestly, I was a fan of Alistair/Malachi Black anyway, but after hearing that tale, well, I just hope everything that's happened to him since has been nothing but peaches and cream. Number 8, Sami Zayns shoulder entrance. Now you probably remember this back on the 4th of May 2015 Raw. John Cena was doing his US title open challenge. It was indeed responded to by none other than NXT's Sami Zayn. Now we were in his hometown of Montreal, Canada as well, so everybody went crazy, including Sam. In fact, he was so pumped up, he was like wiggling and jiggling, and he popped his shoulder out of the joint, I suppose, whatever you want to call it, during his entrance. Now somehow he still did the match. It was actually pretty good, so that guy doesn't make any sense, but yes, he did have to rest and recover this. So guess who was the guy chosen to take him off of television? It was that damn Kevin Owens. Honestly though, you can't account for that one. Sami Zayn could have done a Hurricane Rana and a moonsault and been totally fine, but just walking to the ring and having some adrenaline, but maybe it just had to happen. Number 7, Sin Cara injures his finger. Back in August 2013, Sin Cara was taking on the WWE champion Alberto Del Rio. It was indeed a non-title match. Now very early on in this fight, he did get kicked right in the hand, and he broke his finger, and when he went to do a dive, apparently the whole thing just went and got obliterated. Now Sin Cara smartly called the referee over and said, do the X sign, and Alberto was made the winner via referee's decision. But the rumor has always been that Del Rio was so pissed off about this because he thought that, man, it's just a finger injury. I'm pretty sure you can continue. Now I don't think that's fair because nobody actually knows how hurt somebody is. And really, when it comes to wrestling, if you need to stop, just stop. I know, and get off your high horse, but it's what I believe, man. We should be protecting people. At the end of the day, it's just entertainment. Number 6, Goldberg bleeds. So on the 23rd of January 2017 Raw, Bill Goldberg came to the ring and was like, whoa, I'm gonna enter the Raw Rumble. The whole time, there was blood coming from his head. We were like, did somebody attack Bill? And we just forgot to film it. He was also stumbling through his promo, because as it turned out, you know the deal with Goldberg. He had head-butted a door to get himself all amped up before coming to the ring, and the silly boy had knocked himself a little bit loopy. Now really we have to stop doing this, because again, jump forward a couple of years, and what happened? Goldberg did this again before his Saudi Arabia match with the Undertaker, and that is the scariest fight I've ever seen in my life. So if you do take one thing away from this video, and you are a young up-and-coming wrestler, yeah, do not headbutt inanimate objects. The inanimate object will win. Number 5, Randy Orton's shoulder. Went when he was taking out the trash. Now, we all remember what happened back in 2010 when Randy was doing his RKO tour and once again his shoulder went. That's because poor Mr. Orton has had terrible shoulder injuries his whole career. And I can relate to that. I mean, this shoulder especially is basically made of mush. The one we're talking about today is when he was feuding with the Wyatts in 2015, but yes, I would imagine that during another match, something had really weakened it to the point when he was taking out his garbage, it totally went. If you can believe it, he was out for 9 months. That is totally unfair. He did come back at the 2016 SummerSlam to take on Brock Lesnar. That is the night when Brock Lesnar elbowed him in the head and opened up his skin. Randy just had a terrible time back then. Somebody should go and give him a hug before the Undertaker gets set on fire. So we go back to the Elimination Chamber 2010 for this, and man, you have to go and listen to the Undertaker talk about it on many an interview. He legitimately could have died. Because during an event just prior to this, he had told the pyrotechnic guy, man, this fire is too close to me. I'm going to be set aflame. I don't want that. When nobody did anything about it, and we got to this pay-per-view, and this time it was too close, and that's right, as the dead man was walking to the ring, well, he was almost quite literally a dead man. You can see this too if you watch the pay-per-view, because he starts dousing water on himself, and the real-life Mark Calloway has spoken about this. He changed his entrance gear like an hour before he did go out, and if he hadn't, well, it could have been a different story. I'm not wearing a watch. Go and check out the Elimination Chamber itself, because you can see the Phenom in the corner. Referees are just giving him water bottle after water bottle after water bottle. And you won't be surprised to hear, whoever that pyrotechnic guy was, he got fired on the spot. Number 3, Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 39. So Shane McMahon does not need my sympathy. I actually felt quite sorry for him here, because he did return at the show and shows to confront The Miz and Snoop Dogg when he had his impromptu match with the A-lister and he did a leapfrog. He tore his quad. Now actually WWE saved this because Snoop Dogg took his place and hit the greatest people's elbow on The Miz I've ever seen in my life, but nobody thought that was going to happen. I mean, Shano just basically jumped. That's why we always have to be careful in our day-to-day lives. You could sneeze, I don't know, pull your hamstring. Of course, it basically turned into the McMahon family curse, because in at number 2, Vince McMahon pulls both his quads. This must be the most famous story ever, and it did happen at the Royal Rumble 2005, because it was just a chain of misfortunate events. Because firstly, Dave Bautista was meant to win the Royal Rumble when him and John Cena both accidentally fell to the outside, meaning they both won and both lost, when Vince McMahon ran to the ring, essentially to yell at them and restart the match. When he got in the ring though, he smashed both of his legs into the ring apron when he was just sat in the squared circle like he was a child. Now, at the time, nobody knew what was going on, but after the fact, that's right, he had torn both his quads. And go on the internet today and read about this. That is next to impossible. John Bradshaw Layfield on his podcast actually spoke about this recently too, because apparently afterwards Vince was in the back saying to everyone, don't you even dare look at me, because I will fire you. You can't help but laugh at this though, because again, the scene is just so surreal. And how the hell Vince McMahon ever got over 2 torn quads, I will never know. I mean, 1 is bad enough. Remember the Triple H stuff? Bonkers. Number 1, Cesaro's teeth. So at No Mercy 2017, we had Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose taking on the bar of Sheamus and Cesaro for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Of course, it was a good match. Listen to who was involved. Halfway through this, though, Cesaro did fling himself into the ring post, and I guess he went too hard, because his front teeth went into the damn turnbuckle and went upwards into his gums around about 3 millimeters. And I'm sorry, even just the thought of that is disgusting. Now somehow the Swiss Superman continued on for 10 minutes, which makes him the absolute beast, and he had to wear a mouth guard and braces for like 2 years. And honestly, look at the pictures, there's probably one on the screen right now. This was a horrific injury. I mean, if I had done this and I was about to go to bed, I would still cry. Flipping Cesaro finished the match. So it really is a testament to how tough some of these guys are. But again, nobody steps into a ring and thinks their teeth are going to go upwards. That one really does make me feel a little bit heebie-jeebie. Now, of course, there's going to be a bunch of these, so make sure you get into the comments below and throw in some more and have a good old chat. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Look, there's a video on the screen right now, which is me talking about some more wrestling. I think you should click it. Otherwise, thank you very much, my friends. I appreciate every single one of you. And I'll see you soon.